Caitlin, it's been a couple months since they announced this was going to be the day that you had your jersey retired. Can you just tell me about some of the emotions either leading up to today and what you're feeling maybe now, today, especially knowing that nobody's ever going to wear 22 again here at Iowa?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, I feel very lucky and fortunate.
Caitlin, it has been a few months since they declared that today would mark the retirement of your jersey. One of the most significant events in Caitlin Clark's career recently occurred when her iconic number 22 jersey was formally retired at Iowa. However, how did she respond to this momentous occasion? How did she feel at the time? And what does it mean for her legacy?
Once you hear the day and it's like, oh, your jersey's getting retired this day, it's like, oh, okay. But when the day approaches very fast, you don't have as much time to prepare for everything that's going to be involved in it. But I just am fortunate to come back here. I honestly thought I would be back in Iowa City a lot more than I've been able to be over since I've left. This is only really my second time back here. The other time was when we got our rings on the field. So it's just fun for me to come back and just say thank you to everybody that poured so much into me and allowed me to be great, whether that's, the social media people, whether that's the marketing team, whoever it is that made me look really good at times.
This isn't just another tribute video. Instead, we're delving deeply into 3 key moments from this unforgettable evening. First, we'll relive the game, a high-stakes battle that set the stage for the celebration. Next, we'll analyze the epic jersey retirement ceremony, where Iowa legends and thousands of fans gathered to honor one of the greatest players to ever wear black and gold. And finally, we'll reveal Caitlin Clark's reaction straight from her press conference, where she expressed her gratitude and her thoughts on what's coming up. Stay tuned because Caitlin's words may surprise you. Are you ready to leave?
Caitlin, a lot of these big milestone emotional moments you were playing in a game, because you're not playing because you've known what this is going to be like, do you feel like you'll be able to let yourself feel the emotions a little bit more?
Yeah, and I feel like I already have kind of today. You kind of just have those butterflies in your stomach when you walk in here, not so much for a basketball game now, but obviously just to be around everybody and to enjoy this environment. I think it's definitely, you are a little bit more vulnerable. I don't have to go and compete for 40 minutes, even though I wish maybe I could. But certainly, I think it will definitely be a little bit more emotional that I don't have to compete and go play for 40 minutes.
We must discuss the game that set the stage before delving into Caitlin Clark's emotional response to her jersey retirement. The Iowa Hawkeyes upset the team 76-69 in front of a packed Carver Hawkeye Arena. But this wasn't just any victory. It was a statement.
Go Iowa, trying to secure a win against USC. What a cut by Olsen. 2 and a foul.
Iowa blasted immediately out of the gate, going on an 18-1 run, and the energy in the building was electrifying from the time the ball was tipped. They also came out with a fire that was impossible to ignore. Yes, you read correctly. The Hawkeyes were tearing up the field, and 18-1 USC couldn't buy a bucket.
They shoot 34% from 3 on the season. Look at Dayton with those fanciful handles.
That was a seated dribble after a steal. Ridiculous.
I love it. Any means necessary to save the possession.
All day long. Olsen for 2. It's a 17.
But if you were expecting an easy victory, think again. USC wasn't going to back down, and they brought in one of the most impressive young players in women's basketball, Guji Watkins. She took charge and led the Trojans to a 17-1 run of their own, erasing Iowa's lead completely. It was a heavyweight match, and neither team was giving an inch.
Well, when all is said and done for you, what do you want said about what you've done?
I hope I just inspired.
Oh, wow, Lucy Olsen.
Great move.
As the game progressed, it became evident that this was Iowa's night, and when it counted most, senior transfer Lucy Olsen, who dropped 28 points, 18 of which came in the second half. Addison O'Grady added 13 points, and Iowa's defense locked in the closing minutes, limiting USC to just 1 3-point attempt in the final minutes.
Team, the current team in her heart, still has business to take care of.
Absolutely.
O'Grady, what a spin.
However, this victory meant more than just the final score. It was a demonstration that Caitlin Clark's Iowa basketball team was still a formidable force. The sold-out crowd of over 15,000 supporters stood up, cheering the team on as if it were another championship game, and as the final buzzer sounded, There was only one thing left to do: honor the legend who made it all possible, as everyone had been anticipating Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement ceremony.
He's a 6-foot guard from West Des Moines, Iowa, the reigning WNBA Rookie of the Year and the greatest of all time, number 22, Caitlin Clark!
Caitlin Clark had previously performed in front of sold-out crowds, feeling the energy of thousands of fans following her every move. However, this time, there was no game to win, no buzzer beater to hit, and no final stat line to chase. This was about saying goodbye to a legendary college career and creating a legacy that will last a lifetime. As the game came to an end, the light went out, and the atmosphere inside Carver Haykai Arena changed. The noise wasn't about a run on the court, a defensive stop, or a clutch three-pointer. It was about respect, gratitude, and history. When Caitlin Clark took the court once more, it was not as a player or a rival who had broken records and silenced skeptics, but as an icon. The arena erupted in cheers, not only for the highlights but also for the championships and everything Caitlin had meant to this program, this school, and this sport. Jan Jensen, Iowa's current head coach, was the first to speak, and she wasted no time in taking the audience back to the moment when she and Lisa Bleer first saw Caitlin Clark in the 9th grade.
You know, for those of us that were blessed enough to be in the recruiting wars with Caitlin Clark, it didn't take but a second when you saw her for the first time to recognize her greatness. We had a step back three, we had a semi-shoulder shrug, and we had a little grin looking over at the bench, and she was, I think, a rising 9th grader. And so, Lisa, Jenny, myself, our staff, we made a pact that we were going to do everything we could to be the last one standing. And we are so thankful that we were the last one standing.
She smiled and added, "It didn't take long." We realized we had to do whatever it took to get her to Iowa, so we took 3 steps back, shrugged our shoulders, and grinned as we looked back at the bench.
But the thing that was the coolest about coaching this young woman is she is the same today as when she came in. She is full of confidence. She's full of grace, and she has an unbelievable power to make everybody around her better. And the thing I'd like to close with, if you didn't know, to celebrate this wonderful moment, she gave $22,000 to 4 different entities in this town to share her success and to say thank you. Caitlin, we want to thank you, and Lisa and I had the ride of a lifetime, and you had the head coach of a lifetime. Lisa Luder.
Her former coach, Lisa Bleer, spoke about Caitlin's influence both on and off the court, how she altered the game, opened people's minds to women's basketball, and how she inspired belief.
And you took and paused for a second, and you looked up there, and you looked at those jerseys. I went over to you, put my arm around your shoulder, and said, "Caitlin, someday your name's going to be up there. Your jersey's going to be up there." Today is that day, Caitlin. The positive image that you've brought to this basketball program, this university, this state, women's basketball nationally is unmeasurable.
My professional life has been dedicated to empowering young women. Bleer paused as the audience fell silent. But Caitlin, you've accomplished more for women's basketball in 4 years than anyone could have predicted.
You showed why it's wise to invest in women's sport, why it's wise to invest in women. It's not only the right thing to do, but it's the smart thing to do. Caitlin, you may be in Indiana now, but you're always a Hawkeye.
Before the banner was raised, the announcer said, "Ladies and gentlemen, there will never be another Caitlin Clark, and there will never be another number 22.
Big Ten Player of the Year! two-time Wade Trophy winner, two-time USPWA National Player of the Year, two-time Wooden Award recipient, two-time Honda Sports Award winner, two-time Naismith Player of the Year, two-time AP Player of the Year, the James E. Sullivan Award winner, three-time Big Ten Tournament champion, owner of 5 NCAA single-season records and 6 NCAA career records, back-to-back Final Four appearances, the NCAA all-time leading scorer. Ladies and gentlemen, there will never be another Caitlin Clark, and there will never be another number 22.
Caitlin looked up as the jersey started to slowly rise to the rafters, hands on her hips, and the announcer shared her incredible college accomplishments one by one. She had dreamed of this moment, but living it was something else entirely. Her name and number were forever changed, and then the tribute video arrived, causing a wave of emotion that went well beyond Iowa City.
I'm really glad to see that Caitlin Clark has not only impacted throughout the USA, but has also impacted in Brazil.
I am a fan all the way from South Africa. I've never watched basketball before, but because of you, I am a fan, and I am eternally grateful.
You have motivated me to work harder and dream bigger, not just for myself, but to make my sport even more popular in Africa.
Fans shared their experiences from Brazil to South Africa, among other places. A father who had never followed women's sports before but became enamored with Caitlin's magic on the court. A young girl with cancer who found strength in watching Caitlin play. A family who brought a signed picture of their deceased child to a game, knowing the child would have wanted to witness history firsthand.
In March of 2022, Caitlin took this picture with our youngest son, Cade. Sadly, in November of 2023, Cade passed away at the Children's Hospital. Later that season, when Caitlin broke the scoring record, his older brother Chase decided to take this photo with him to the game and was lucky enough to get it signed. Thank you, Caitlin, for that incredible night, not only the scoring record, but also letting us know that Cade was with us at that game, and for our favorite piece of sports memorabilia.
Thank you, Caitlin. Let's go Hawks.
Caitlin watched as their messages appeared on the screen one by one. She blinked and inhaled deeply. This wasn't just basketball. Something more was happening.
You talked about in your time at Iowa, just you didn't really get time to reflect on what was going on because, of preparing for opponents and things like that. Now that you've had time off, just what's it been like to process what happened here at Iowa and then be back here today?
Well, it's been fun looking back on this whole past year and everything that's been able to happen. But just the journey we went on, I think reflecting back on my entire career, whether the beginning when I didn't play in front of anybody to the very end where we went to our second Final Four, second national championship game, and just how much things changed, not only for our program, but how much things changed for women's basketball in my time here.
Although Caitlin Clark has long been renowned for her fierce rivalry, highlight reels, and ability to dominate a game, when she sat down in front of reporters this evening, it wasn't about setting records or winning. Rather, it was about introspection for the first time in a long time. Caitlin Clark had the opportunity to reflect on all of her accomplishments, and her feelings were clear as soon as she sat down at the press conference table.
Just very grateful and fortunate, and it's kind of a weird feeling coming back here and not being able to play, but it's just really exciting time still for this program. I'm very fortunate to be a part of it and feel very lucky that a lot of my former teammates and former coaches are here and able to support me, and a lot of friends and family, so I'm just really lucky.
I've been so focused on what's next that I haven't really had time to step back and think about what we did here, she explained, but tonight seeing my teammates, coaches, and family, it hit me. She took a deep breath and then got serious, admitting that everything happened so quickly, from the Final Four to the WNBA draft to her first pro season. When asked what she thought of the current Hawkeyes team, Caitlin responded with her usual poise.
What's your take on this year's team? How do you see this team?
Oh, asking me the tough questions. No, I think They're definitely a younger group. I think the freshman class to me is what's really exciting. I think they've been ones you can tell they're freshmen. They're going to be inexperienced at times, but you learn through that.
I know my number's up there, but it wouldn't be without my teammates. Caitlin made clear when she said that her retirement from the team wasn't just about her. She said that we created something truly unique here, the culture and the way we played for each other, and that's what I'll remember most. She gave credit to her former teammates, many of whom were present at the ceremony, calling them family. Winning was great, she said, smiling, but the best part was doing it with my best friends.
There's also been a lot of really good players to wear this number in this program, whether Sam Logic, Kathleen Doyle, and those two specifically have been very supportive of myself over my career, so just thanks to them more than anything. And
she also took the time to commend Iowa's coaching staff for their ongoing efforts to develop the program and convey her enthusiasm for the upcoming generation of athletes.
I'm really just proud of this coaching staff. I don't think people always at times give them the grace that they deserve. You know, losing 5 seniors or 6 seniors, whatever the number was, losing our head coach and then losing Coach Fitz, which a lot of people don't talk about too often. And Coach Fitz was the person that, you know, she did the scouts. She watched games, 8 games, or she was working ahead on things. She was Coach Bluter's kind of right-hand person, and, you know, she never got a lot of the credit. So, you know, that's a big loss too. But just proud of this coaching staff. Like, they've stayed resilient in the moments that have been kind of tough for them so far. But, you know, this program's in a really good spot. You have a great young group, and you have, you know, a couple juniors that are going to be back next year that are really good, and then obviously the class that we have coming in too is really good as well. So the program is in a really good spot.
After then, a reporter questioned Caitlin about how she handles the stress and attention of the previous 18 months.
Nobody's faced more scrutiny in the last 18 months than you.
Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself going through, whether it's adversity on the floor, off the floor, and in the last 18 months, and how have you applied that to make you a better person?
And this is when she displays her maturity and offers a terrific perspective while only being 23 years old.
I think it's, you know, it's just life. Everybody goes through some of the same stuff that I've gone through, and a lot of people go through a lot worse. And I just try to remind myself every single day, like, how grateful I am to be in the position that I am. And, you know, I try to treat everybody the same way that, you know, that I would want to be treated. And I think it just speaks to the way I was raised and my parents raised me. You know, there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. The girls are fired up. I hope that's them. But yeah, I think it's just, you know, you go with the flow a little bit. You know, obviously, I think having a good circle around me and having a small circle around me of people that I really trust, and those are the people that you can always count on and lean on, is what's been so important for me over the past year.
She then addresses putting the haters in their proper place and refutes all of the falsehoods that have been circulating about her and her team.
But also, like, I've said this before, like, I feel like one of my greatest skills is, like, I really don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I believe in myself, I'm confident in myself, I'm confident in my teammates. I try to instill that in them. I'm confident in the coaching staff on whatever team I was on, whether that was here, whether that's at the Fever now. And you just rely on those people, and, you know, nobody gets to step inside of your locker room, whether it was here at Iowa or whether it was, you know, with the Fever now. Like, everybody thinks they know everything and have an answer, but that's just not reality, and that goes for all of professional sports, and really that goes for all of you as well and people in life.
During her address, and subsequently at the press conference, Caitlin began praising Iowa's fans and university staff, which was one of the night's most moving moments.
Honestly, to all the people that have just poured into me over the course of my career, from the people that don't get any recognition, from our media team to our managers, all of you that have given so much of yourselves to allow me to be who I am, thank you. I can't say it enough, and I wouldn't be here without all of you. So I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to be back in here and play another game in front of you all. So thank you for being here.
You guys packed this arena every night you traveled to see us. You supported us when we won, and when we lost, you made this place special, she said, taking a moment to exhale before smiling. You didn't just support me, you supported women's basketball. I just hope you know how much that means to me, she added, adding that this was always bigger than me.
So just like making sure I say thank you to all of them, because none of that happens without all of those people pouring pouring themselves into our team and our program every single day.
Naturally, the question had to be asked, what comes next? Regarding her second season with the Indiana Fever, Caitlin smiled at the rival as she flickered back to life, asking how she was feeling about the WNBA.
Your current team has made some interesting moves the last few days. How do you feel about what your roster suddenly looks like?
I'm excited. Obviously, we made some great moves. I think, Kelly and Amber and the whole, Fever organization are, they're helping us win now. And I think that's really important. I think they're putting really good pieces together that are gonna, complement each other really, really well.
And naturally, she never fails to encourage the league as a whole, not just her club or herself.
And then obviously Steph taking over as head coach for us, I think is going to be really great, a great basketball mind, somebody that had actually called quite a few of my college games. So being able to build that relationship with her and just be in the gym and work on things that she probably saw when I was a freshman in college and was like, oh, that girl still can't make a left-handed layup. We're still working on that, but no, it's just exciting time.
Speaking of the season, recall her lighthearted repartee with Iowa supporters who wish to see her again.
I know the Pacers Sport and Entertainment. Give it up for the Fever. We're playing a game right here, baby. Woo! We're coming to town. You better save up, because I bet it's going to be pretty expensive, but we'll see what we can do. But honestly, I couldn't imagine getting drafted to a better franchise, a place that, just like Iowa, invests in women's sports and has allowed me to thrive. So just really lucky and fortunate to be there. And
a chapter in basketball history was officially closed when she reflected, expressed gratitude, and shared what this moment meant to her. However, it was evident that her story was far from over and that she always had something special up her sleeve. Her number 22 will never be worn again at Iowa, but her legacy will endure forever, and her records will be remembered. Her best moments will be relived for years to come, but above all, she altered the course of the game.
Hopefully year 2 is even better than year 1, and I know it will be. We got some good players. We got a good coach. She's probably hiding over there somewhere. I don't know where you're at, Steph, but thanks for being here.
Even if her Iowa journey is over, she encouraged a whole generation to pick up a ball and dream larger by giving the impression that she brought sellout audiences to women's basketball. The second season of Caitlin Clark's WNBA career is far from over. The next chapter of her story is about to begin, and if there's one thing we know for sure, it will be equally legendary. Are you excited? If so, let us know in the comments below. Subscribe and enable all notifications so you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.